Hey, it's Trader Tim from EminiMind. It's October 26th, Thursday. We're doing a trade recap video. Ended up being a pretty decent week, especially these last 2 days after a bit of a slow start Monday, Tuesday. So I wanted to run through today's trades, and then we'll just kind of go backwards from there. First, we'll start on the daily, actually the weekly chart here. Just looking at the full halfway back. We had this retracement short on the daily that is now at its negative 23. And then just below us here, this 40, really like 40, 50, 4050 area is what we're targeting. The actual 50 is 4067 and change. So likely going to be able to make it there. It's just about the negative 61.8. So should see maybe a larger bounce there, or at least some support. So we'll keep a close eye there. If we go to the daily chart, you can see pretty much just a slide the last week and a half. Unfortunately, the puts that I had expired last Friday, so I didn't catch today and yesterday's move down. But that's okay. We're not trying to catch the absolute low or the absolute high, just kind of the meat of the move, which was kind of this chunk in here. So that's fine. Sometimes you get luck on your side. Sometimes you get unlucky. But by and large, not dwelling on getting it perfect, just getting consistency, so that you can take the meat of the trade and do it repeatedly. So let's go to today's trades, and then we'll go work back from there. So I guess starting on the 15-minute, the 15-minute opening range breakout broke to the downside today, and I guess this is where you could say it's a little bit lucky and unlucky. We got a fairly quick move down to 15 points of profit, at which point I moved my stop to -4, and then that actually took me out here when we came back into that 30-minute range before it got its +20. So ended up with a -4 on that one today, whereas yesterday we did not go as far. We broke to the downside, made like a 10-point move to the downside, came back into the 30-minute range, so my stop was still above the first 15-minute candle's high, and then we came down and I got my +20 hit on that one. So a little bit of worked out yesterday better than today. Tuesday was a stop out, and then Monday also got a +20 as well. So two +20s, and then the -4 today, and then a stop out on Tuesday. So that was 15-minute. Going to the rest of today's trades, the first one that I had, well, actually, a couple things we'll run through before we get to the trade. We'll go through the morning here. So we opened up with the gap down and worked our way down, and the 30-minute low was right there. And then you can see how we kind of just treaded water moving sideways just underneath the 30-minute low. And we did this actually the last a couple times this week, kind of moving sideways at the bottom of the 30-minute low. And so at 7:02, if we come in here, at 7:02 we had this smaller retracement. So we did have news at the top of the hour. And if I get on the same time frame here on the tick chart, I didn't put a limit order at this 50% because my stop would have been outside, or would have been just inside of the 61.8. And then this inverted hammer here, it came down. It was right at the opposing, and the body of the hammer was a little bit low. I like when the entry point, so like the low of that hammer, would line up with the 30-minute exactly. So didn't end up taking a short at the 30-minute low in this instance. And then you can see how we also had a low tick, I believe a low tick at lows at 7:02, and that was here. Yep. So we've got a low tick at lows, which is sort of signaling that could be the low of the day, and you might want to look for a long. But then at the same time, you're just underneath the 30-minute range, and that's what ends up giving us this sideways chop. You've got people trying to get long, people trying to get short, and they're pretty evenly matched, so you just go sideways. So when you get a situation like that, you want to wait for us to break above the um, the high of that cluster at the 50% or break below lows. And so you can draw a box or just highlight it or mark it with a high and low trend line. Just stay out of that range because you don't want to, if you were trading in the middle of that range, you're just getting stop out back to back. Whereas, middle of the range, there's nothing going on. The range isn't big enough really to, take a long at the bottom of the range and ride it to the top of the range. By the time you get in, it's already at the top. So stay out of the middle of that kind of stuff. There was this spinning top, which you could have taken on the 1 minute chart. If you're just looking at hammers and inverted hammers, then that's a pass. But what was the first trade was a 7:30, just after 7:30, a short, and that was on the retracements. It actually ended up being a crossover, which we haven't had too many of lately. But we came up close to the full halfway back of the day. We actually came back into the 30-minute range. And I didn't take this short here because we didn't break a swing low, and that was also right on top of the 30-minute range. And so even though this one worked out and broke down, that's getting into a fairly risky territory to not have even a swing low break and be sitting on top of the 30-minute range. And so I would have liked the next one had we not stopped at the opposing long right here, and then we didn't even make it to the 50% anyways. But what we ended up getting is a small, what I call crossover, where you take a swing high below, or swing high before the 50 to a swing low after the 50 right here. It was really tiny. It was just below the 30-minute low with room between that and lows of the day. And that one ran down a little bit. I ended up getting ticked out of that one when I trailed my stop right here at 81 and a quarter. It was the exact high that I call ticked out, where it comes to the tick, stopped me out. So I didn't catch much of the move down after that. Just the first target and then I think another point or so on that one. But rolling forward, and I almost closed down my trade ladder just before that. And then we kind of shot up here because we were moving sideways, and it was like, okay, we're almost to the hour mark. I haven't had a trade yet, minus the 15-minute, and maybe if we get to the hour mark and I haven't even had a trade, a lot of times I will just close down for the day if it's being slow. But we shot up to that halfway back of the day, and then took that short, and then notice down here this little hammer down at lows. So this is the perfect hammer scenario where you have a trend line right here, or a horizontal support level, if you will, and the tail sticks down below the trend line, the price level, and the top of the hammer is kind of right aligned with the bottom of the prior lows. So this is textbook. Long above that hammer. It was also super small, 2.5 points. This thing ran for like 20 points. That was a sweet move on the 1 minute chart. So you don't need too many trades in a day to catch. If you catch a couple of good moves, or in this case one good move, that can make your entire day. So that was a solid run up. I didn't make it all the way to highs of the day, so I didn't flip it here. You've got this little inverted hammer. It was just kind of in the middle of the 30-minute range, so that's where I ended my day. We were basically at the hour and a half mark anyways. So that was today. Let's go to yesterday. We already talked about the 15-minute. Let me mark the 30-minute low, and then we just run through a couple trades from yesterday as well. I guess we'll start in the 1 minute chart. Back her up here, 25th, get to the morning. And here is our open. So basically the same scenario as today. If we back up, we gap down, and then let's see. Yeah, there you can see the gap a little bit better. Gap down, rallied into the 30-minute range, and then sold off even more to the downside. And so yesterday, the first 1 minute trade, I really didn't have much momentum at all this week on the 1 minute trades until today's. So the first one was at 6:50, and these are all Pacific time. That was this hammer here. Notice how this hammer, the body is a little bit higher in this. So like if this is the support level, the tail is down there whereas the body is up higher. I was seeing it more as a double bottom, so I took this as a long above the high of this hammer, and it ended up basically being close to scratch. Small loser on that one. And then 7:15 was another hammer. This one had a bit of a tail going below lows, but um, we were in that cluster, just like today, right at the bottom of the 30-minute range, moving sideways. I felt like we were maybe close enough to the 30-minute low that this hammer could push us up, but it didn't. So those were two small losses on the 1 minute yesterday. But then on the 512 tick chart, if we go to, let's see, 705, that was here. 705 was a short, and that one, oh yeah, that one was, so we broke the opposing here, and then this short was right in line with the bottom of the 30-minute range at 705, and then just I felt like we were going to sell off a little more, so I didn't aggressively trail my stop on each candle on this one. I wanted to see if we could get down to lows and give it a little bit of wiggle room. So I ended up leaving my stop up here above the 60.18. And so basically just got out. Uh, let's see, is that, yeah, just got out basically at break even because by the time I rounded up 28, and then my entry was down at 29. So round up 28 and a quarter takes you up to 29. So 3 points on that one, and then had a bigger one later, about the same time, 7:30, that today's traded. And this was a counter trend. This was a long. See how we came back into the 30-minute range. This is the 30-minute low down here, 42.29. And so we came back into it, and see how the 50 lines up perfectly. Actually, it was 29 and a quarter. So I shorted at 29, and then I went long at 29 and a quarter later on after we failed to move lower. And so that one was just the 29 and a quarter. Stop was below the 61.8 2-point stop. And then that one got a nice move. And this one came up. This one ran pretty quickly. And so being a little bit later in the morning, we were starting to come up to the full halfway back of the day. And so I did get aggressive with it and trailed my stop behind each candle. And that one I got, I think, 10 points plus the 3-point first target. So that was a nice runner there. Monday, Tuesday was pretty quiet. You can go back and watch the live session from Tuesday if you want to see those trades. And then Monday didn't really have much other than the 20-point 15-minute opening range breakout. So when you combine all these three strategies together, the 15-minute, the 1-minute, the retracements, you're pretty much getting at least one setup every single day. And on a day like Monday, where I didn't have much on the retracement, I didn't have any retracements, and just a couple small 1 minutes, then the 15-minute kind of takes over and cashes in on its 20-point. And then today, didn't have anything on the 15-minute as far as I didn't get a 20-point profit on the 15-minute, but the 1-minute had that close to 20-point move. And so, you kind of assimilate all these together, smush these three strategies together, and that's what helps kind of smooth out the P&L throughout the week. So if you have questions, you can drop them below in the comments or in the Discord. Hope you have a great weekend. We'll talk to you all soon.